Await no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 430 of the Trophy Room of PlayStation podcast. I'm taking over the hosting duties this episode. My name is Kyle, aka Mr. KSEP, and alongside me, the two greatest human beings and co-hosts person could ask for, the one and only lightweight gaming herself, Teegan, and Mr. Badbit Joe, who is on the video version for everybody. He's now known as Walking Bit because he's out and about. He's the man on the streets.
That's right, a man on the streets. That's because as we were right about to record the most important podcast maybe we've ever done, I had a blackout. And the power's not coming back for another 2.5 hours. So listen, the podcast must go on. I am now taking this show literally on the road. Many people say this couldn't be done and it's impossible, but we're doing it. I'm literally the man on the street. I am now walking, talking, and podcasting with you guys. So if you hear anything like cars running past, well, that's the nature of the beast, baby. Let's do this thing.
Obviously, we have one singular topic we're talking about this week. We all just came back from Summer Game Fest. So we talk about what we played. We'll be talking about the showcases, our favorite games there. It was quite an eventful weekend, and we're all still kind of feeling the tiredness because the time changes a lot, but we're super excited to chat about everything we got to see. Let's kick it off with the starter question from the one and only the good sir who we got to meet in person in LA and who is a lovely individual. The good sir writes, made it home safe from SGF and the mix. So much fun to finally meet the PS trio. Thank you for the warm welcome, Kyle, Joe, and Light. I honestly was nervous to meet you all, but you guys are the absolute sweetest humans. Can't wait to hear all about your Playdays adventures.
Yay!
Guys, the power's back. Let's fucking go. I'm walking back.
It was meant to be. I told you.
No, in all sincerity, I think when we talk about like the greatest highlights of the show, it's meeting all the fans out there, which we met quite a few. So just thank you guys so much. Like literally, the good sir, Adam, JB, the purple monkey, Tyler, I forget. I met you at the airport. Hello, Mazda driving by. You guys made this trip just everything. So thank you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that was it's always a huge highlight. Like we're going for the games, but seeing the people and getting to chat with them, no matter who they are, was awesome.
Yeah. It's so surreal too when someone comes up to us and is like, "Oh my god, I'm such a fan of your show," because then I geek out and fangirl because I'm like, "Oh my god, somebody recognizes me. What is this life I'm living right now?" So you guys are geeking out. I'm geeking out. We're all geeking out.
Shout out to Adam, who we were waiting to go into the showcase itself, and he saw us. We were all sitting there just waiting, and he goes, "Oh my god, trophy room! It's Joe, it's Light, it's Kyle." And each time he was just getting higher and higher because I was like,
"Yep."
It was the sweetest.
I just talk about video games, but I appreciate the excitement. It's very, very cool. Also, Joe, just so you know, because you can't see the chat, so Canada goes, look at all these names he's getting right.
Hot dang. Love you, Steve.
While Joe is on his way back to see if the power is truly on in his house, so we can do a proper episode, let's get into the Patreon pitch. Of course, we would not have been able to make it to SGF without everyone's help on Patreon. So shout out to our newest members, R. Lee Upper 90 at the silver tier, Caleb Cook at the platinum tier, our premium members, Todd Burwitz and Toxic. Shout out to K-Rock, Kiddo Cullen. Hell yeah, Cullen. Keep fighting the good fight. Platinum members Jay Shea, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryuku Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Stribbles and Bits, Aaron, Bertos Maximus, Tommy, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez,
Lock me out.
Still can it. Decime, Mitchell Grambling, Mike Thomas, the Enchanted Goat, and our gold members: Cypher Primus, Doth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hide
Hey, I'm
Indoors,
podcasting.
Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill.
Hi, folks. I'm glad
Hello.
you survived Los Angeles.
Thank you. Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, Angel's Hermit, and
Say hello.
Hi.
All right, we're going back.
Oh, we're getting a tour of your house.
I know, and
Yeah.
Grocery Store, Astronaut Jr., Winter Gamer, Stingray X, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brett and Zachary, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold, ET, Tino Six Speed, Nicholas Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Solo, Matthew King,
Hey, Mom.
Over
Mom.
Lord.
We're podcasting.
Hi guys, how are ya?
All right, not that loud.
Hi.
Think about the audio. All right, I'll see you guys. That's what you guys did.
I'm never getting through this pitch. Dewani Raksha, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Mildinner, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Michael Hassett, Drug Prowlin Wolf, Manix Vizia, Jazz, and Bren, Tristan Wonderland, Battered Haddock, and Study. I will pull up the YouTube members in a brief second, but shout out all to you all, because like we legit would not have been able to even have gotten invites to SGF without all your support and love and just everything that you do for us day in and day out. If you don't have any money to support on Patreon, that's totally fine. Share us out, give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those things are all free and help us out a ton, especially without all of our SGF coverage that we're doing this week. It would mean a lot to kind of share it out there and show these devs, these publishers, Mr. PlayStation, hey, these guys do great things. You should get them on your radar. Shout out to our YouTube members: Nisa Hauer, The Kush Completionist, Pops Arcade, Shrubbles a Bits, and Tommy. Whew. Let's get, while Joe is getting set up again, let's talk about the trip to LA. And before we got to play any games, you just made a cross country trip before then.
Yeah.
So like this was your second so close. Was this more exciting to go to, or were you like, oh, I got to do another 6-hour flight?
No, these are both really exciting. And I was supposed to go back again at the end of the month, but that one was canceled. Rip, and I'll never be able to say why, which is extra sad. But yeah, I was joking with Mr. Lay. I was like, we just need to move to California because I was out in California more than I was home. I think this was a little bit more exciting just because there were more events going on all within this trip. The last trip out there when I went to 2K was really cool because it was like super exclusive, but it was just like the one day thing. And this trip, it was like, oh, I've got this event, I've got this event, and I've got this event. So that made it a little bit more exciting just because it was more of a big deal. But also I was much more anxious this time, and it was way last second, which also added to my anxiety. So yeah, but when I was there, I was like, fuck yeah, I don't want to leave.
Yeah, you and Joe getting your invitations like a week or two beforehand was crazy. So Joe, how was your lead up to the trip out?
Well,
Excited, nervous?
I was excited because I just get to see you guys again, right? And also AC's on, if you hear that, I don't know. But
you just walked up and down the street on your phone. I think
you're right. Cars passing me. The lead up, I was excited. Not nervous because planes lately, but like just excited to just see you guys again, and just to see all my friends. So not so much nervous, but just like excited to even just see, like, to me, as much as like I'm excited we're gonna make so much content, it's also like a test run to see what it's like for next year and the year after. And I have now so many ideas of how we're gonna make so much content next year. So yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome. Well, now that you're back, Joe, do you want to take over? We did the Patreon pitch.
Oh, look at that.
We're ready to square up the news, I think.
We're ready to square up the news, starting with, or let's square up the show.
Yeah.
We're starting off with Summer Game Fest.
Yep. So instead of like going through the whole just 2-hour show, I just want to ask you guys what were some of your highlights and some of your lowlights of the show. So tops 3 games from each of us. I think that's a good varied amount. And then at the end of it, just our overall thoughts. So would you mind if I go first?
No, go for it.
All right, excellent. So the first game that took me aback for SGF Showcase, the Keeleys, was End of Abyss. This is from the former developers behind Little Nightmares, featuring a rather mysterious tone and some very dark corridors. This trailer sets the tone right away to be quite creepy. The top-down shooter and survival title will be out on 2026 on PlayStation and PC, and it will be exclusive to the Epic Game Stores. This comes from IGN, by the way. Man, this game creeped me out. I love the play on it being the top-down view where you usually get a more arcadey feel. This one, it felt like every single bullet you shoot just mattered, and it being from the Little Nightmares team, or from the developers of that team, totally makes sense because they make a platformer so incredibly scary and the surroundings of that equally dreadful. So like this one was the first one that caught my eye in the show. I really, really dug End of Abyss. What about you, Kyle Stevenson?
Nice. So just overall, I think being in the room for the show was awesome. I have watched it again, and it was an okay show, but being in the room for some of it was exciting. I'll start off with I'm so happy that Yacht Club got stage time, and I'm even more happy that we finally have a date for Mina the Howler. This was one of my biggest highlights of the whole weekend. I played Mina at a PAX East a few years ago at this point, and to see it finally happening on Halloween this year, Yacht Club just does not miss. And if you want to, there is a demo during Next Fest right now for you to check it out and play it, which I highly think you should because it's really, really good.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, then I'm on it after that. Yeah.
It's just I'm very excited for Celia and the whole Yacht Club team. Mina's going to be awesome. So like I'm very happy that it's finally got a date and people get to finally play it because they've been clicking on that one for a while. So that was very cool. Also, the room was not as hype for that announcement like they should have been. In that theater, they were way quiet, and that made me mad.
Yeah.
Mike and I were like, what are you talking? This is Yacht Club. This is Shovel Knight finally announcing when you can play their next new IP, new game. Get more hype, everybody. But that's fine.
Heathens out there.
Yeah.
What about you, Light?
So again, it's hard like when you're in a live event because the hype of the people around you makes you feel more hype. So even if there's a game where it's kind of like, that's not for me, the people behind me that were screaming in my ear so excited, all of a sudden I was like, wait, am I excited for this game? So it kind of skews your opinion when you're there live and makes it harder to kind of be neutral about it. But the top 3 games that stood out for me, I was really intrigued by Killer Inn, which is that social deduction game where you have to like murder people, but also like figure out who's doing the murdering. I thought that looked cute. And then the body horror game Ill, looked really creepy and really intriguing. And then I really liked what they did with like that Rickroll for RE9 when they came on. They're like, sorry guys, we're not going to show you anything. Like you got to wait a little bit longer. And then at the end of the show, they showed it. Like that was really good. Everyone was so disappointed around us. And they were like, are you kidding me? Why even have that on there? And like super disappointed. And then the pop at the end when we realized there's Resident Evil was really cool. So I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. For me, first off, I love the Resident Evil, like, because they tease you midway through the show. They're like, hey, it just needs a little bit more time. And then it's like 2 trailers after, it's like, we got you. It's here.
No. It's not just that. Is even before that, Maggie Robertson came on, the voice actress from Lady D. And we're like, all right, it's finally time. Nope, it's just a sale for all the other games. Like you, how dare you?
We were all so annoyed.
I would say the next game that I was super excited for, I'll just throw this one out here. Arc Raiders. Embark Studios stopped by Summer Game Fest to announce that Arc Raiders will be officially releasing on October 30th, so a day before Mina, on PC and PS5. Arc Raiders is the game that's been kind of taking the internet by storm. It is the extraction shooter that has kind of mounted marathon as if there's anyone that can do it, it's definitely Embark Studios, and Arc Raiders seems like it has the wind at its sails, and very telling that it feels like they know marathon's not coming out on September, so they don't feel the rush to just shadow drop it, because the rumor was at the showcase they were going to shadow drop Arc Raiders and it was going to be day and date. And so I like that they're giving the team a little bit more time to cook and giving us a pretty awesome like live action or CG rather trailer to go along with it. So Arc Raiders definitely on my watch list for the rest of the year. What say you, Kyle Stevenson?
I'm making an audible because I forgot this was during Summer Game Fest from what I've written down in the document. I do honorable mention new Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up game. Hell yes.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Mike and I thought, because I was sitting next to Mike, you guys were on the opposite side of the theater. Would have loved to have all been together, but
same.
Whatever. We thought it was a Gargoyles beat 'em up, like the old school Gargoyles art cartoon, and we're like, holy shit. No. But
Still
getting a shadow drop of the Liza P DLC. Makes me feel so happy. I have not played it yet because I have been so tired still that's a weekend thing, but it's downloaded, ready to go. Apparently it's very good. Liza P's awesome. Hope people play it and check it out. But getting a shadow drop of one of my most anticipated things of the year and being in the room for that announcement was super cool. Bummed that leaked ahead of the show.
Yes,
because I woke up and you were like, I saw you posted on Blue Sky of like, if this is real, and that got me thinking like, oh my god, it's happening. If that would have been like neither of us knew about it or anybody didn't know about it ahead of time, that would have been gigantic.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm very happy I get to play more Liza P.
And then the one that got me, and I didn't think it would, Stranger Than Heaven, the RGG Studios Project Sentry, got a very nice long look at what the team hopes to deliver when it launches for an unannounced list of platforms at an unspecific point in the future. This is the first RGG game that I am actually legitimately excited for, because I love that it's like this time hopping. We're in modern setting, and then all of a sudden we're in like the 1920s Japan. That era is so unexplored in games, and to see that time period being taken to Japan, like, yes, show me really interesting and cool ideas. I really dug this. This was definitely a me ass game if I ever saw one, or reveal.
I keep scrolling through this article and writing new things down. I forgot about.
Yes. Xbox Era writes in, it was great meeting you, Bad Bit, Lightweight Gaming, about 500 times. This is Jesse. Jesse, you just missed it. I was literally out and about. I was a street reporter because my power went out. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen again. But it was excellent. Yeah, meeting the Xbox Era guys and how just kind and awesome they all were. Thank you guys for your hospitality. Seriously, you guys are amazing. All right.
Like you added something to your list that you're excited about?
Fractured Blooms looked real creepy and cool. That one was like it didn't look creepy.
Literature cross.
Yeah, but then it was like
gardening.
you heard the voices and like you were gardening like body parts or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Last Flag was the co-op capture the flag game that I watched that, and it reminded me of the good old days with Unreal Tournament and my love for Unreal Tournament, and I left saying I want to play that game, but also bring back Unreal Tournament, please.
Yeah.
It really makes me, or like the, WoW vanilla, like
Mhm.
we're talking beginning of WoW, when you had Capture the Flag with Warsong Gulch.
Ooh.
Bring back those days. I miss
What I
them.
really loved from this trip was just bonding with T and understanding that we are the same type of gamer to a core. But yeah, no, that game looked awesome. 100%. Okay. What was and I think we might all share the down bit. Yes, Kyle.
I got one more.
Oh, you got one more? Sorry, go for it.
Can't believe it's a real game, but the puppet game felt that boxing.
Oh my god.
Come on. I
Come
love
on.
Punch Out, and the fact that this legit just looks like a real movie that someone is making with like actual hand puppets is insane to me.
Yep.
I hope it plays as well as it looks, because if it does, that's a special game.
Yeah.
Same thing. What was the one where it was the clay people?
Oh, No More Words.
Yeah, that one again looked really cute, and it's the claymation, like the
Yep.
art that goes into those games. So cool.
Yeah.
See, like
So
there
much
were a lot of like special games on the show.
Mhm.
And when we talk about the low point of the show, they were just cluttered with what I felt was the same type of looking game. Like there was a lot of, and no shade to JRPGs or Japanese developers, but it was a lot of just Japanese games that I wasn't particularly like in on. Like there was a lot of
A
like
lot of
anime
Souls
games.
Yeah.
A lot of Souls games as well. And it just wasn't my bag. There was just too many over the top, scantily clad women. Like the one where it's like the first descendant and the woman's zipping up and it's just an aerial shot. Like, come on, guys.
I was gonna say my down point of this.
on.
I'm about to be the friend that's too woke, and that's okay. But I was tired of every other trailer having a booty or a booby quota. And
Yeah.
I as a bisexual baddie can appreciate a good booty and
Sure.
a good booby. But
That's right.
wow, it was like there were some trailers where if it didn't have 5 close-up butt shots or cleavage shots, they were like, oh no, can't have that trailer or something. Like I turned to Joe after, I was like, there was a quota. They must have
Yeah.
had a quota on how many butts needed to be in it.
Yeah.
And it was extra annoying because there was lots of men around me, which is fine. Like, yes, male dominated space in those events most times. I get that. But their reactions right there next to me, I was just feeling a little icky. Feeling a little icky. And that was really disappointing because the games could be fun and could be cool, but I was like, I no longer have interest in playing this now.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, guys, we're not 16 here anymore. You know what I mean? It felt like for every 12 double Ds, there was one twink. You know what I mean? It was like it was one piece of eye candy for maybe the ladies and some of the fellas. Like it's just like, come on now. It's just I don't know.
And I think the reactions made it worse. Like I don't know if it would have been as noticeable if I was just watching it at home, but the reactions of the group of men around us in particular just made it feel extra icky because I'm like, guys, I'm like literally I'm right here and this feels gross because the reactions were over the top and just like
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for for people that are like, oh, you're too woke, whatever. Like I'll be the friend who's too woke in this instance, but it just made me feel icky. And I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here right now. I like this. So.
I'm with T on this one.
Yeah.
Gamers are a mistake. My downside is I felt a lot of the show was samey.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much that looked alike. It didn't matter if it was an RPG or a Souls game or all the cell shaded anime games in the commercial spots. It just felt like we were just treading the same water for a lot of it, which was a bummer because there were some good things in there. Like we got a new Wuchang game, which is super cool and exciting. But it just felt like here's a brand new game and it looked just like a trailer we saw maybe 10 minutes ago. Or like I think all of the Munfish games have that same kind of look to it where it's they almost look like they're not real video games.
Right.
It looks like somebody is making a movie and they're like, all right, you design something that you think is a video game and it's a game that will never ever be played. But each of those 3 trailers gave me those vibes.
And it didn't
Sure.
help that 2 of them were essentially the same game because you had the
Yes.
Atomic Hearts 2, but then you had the Cube, which is the Atomic Hearts 2 just
It's in
multiplayer.
the universe or
So
whatever.
why
yeah.
are like it was, and they were right next to each other. So it was like, what? Didn't we just watch this? I'm
Yep.
confused. Like
Yeah.
the Cube idea seemed really cool and unique, and that was really intriguing. But I was like, we
Mhm.
just saw 2 more trailers for this game.
Yeah.
So,
And the survival horror game looks cool, but it still has that same kind of like
mhm.
sheen and look to it where it's like, this doesn't look like a real video game.
It's almost like, those AI videos that go around now where it's
Yes.
like they're too perfect. So it gives you kind of that uncanny valley. It's almost like
Yeah.
that. Like it feels like an AI video game,
Absolutely.
even though it's not. Like I know there's real people who worked very hard on this, but like it has
Yeah.
that look, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Overall, though, it was an okay showcase. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
being there definitely influenced.
I mean,
a
being
few
in the
things.
room when a new Resident Evil was announced was pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Really,
Right,
yeah,
let's,
really cool.
let's go. All right, Xbox Showcase. A whole lot of PlayStation was announced there. That's why we're talking about it. I want to talk about your guys' highlights of it, and what you guys thought of it. So it feels weird. This is like the first year we're really diving into the Xbox Showcase for PlayStation announcements. The first one for me, I'm gonna give someone else Clockwork Revolution. Gears of War Reloaded beta comes out this Friday. PlayStation gamers, it's time to unite. Okay, for decades, Xbox players are going like, "Ooh, PlayStation players don't know how to play online. Oh, we're gonna wipe the floor with them." PlayStation brethren, it's time to squad up. It's time to show the Xbox dorks who's really good at multiplayer games. Okay, so get your Lancers ready. Load those Nashers up because we're gonna be crab walking our way to victory. These Xbox fools will not understand what's coming to them. All right, let's go. Lock and load, baby. Gears of War on PlayStation. I am so hyped for this, gang. I pre-ordered the physical copy of the game on PlayStation via Amazon. I am. It's just such a. Let me go get my Lancer. You guys talk about it.
Yeah, so just really quickly, my overall thoughts about this Xbox Showcase, and this might be a little controversial here, so strap in, everybody.
Ooh, I'm buckling up.
I think it was a very good show. Great, even.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But there's no difference from the previous Xbox Showcases. And let me expand, okay?
Okay.
All the trailers that had other platforms at the end card, like the PlayStation PS5 logo,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's all third-party stuff. It's just like any other showcase. They just actually acknowledge other systems there. Because when
Yeah.
you really rewatch it, all the specific like Xbox Game Studio stuff, I could be missing one or two, didn't have that at the end of it. So it was just like any other kind of Xbox Showcase. It just feels like it was a bigger moment because they actually were acknowledging other ecosystems.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. So, like, for example, Clockwork Revolution, we're assuming it's coming to PlayStation, but it was never
Eventually. But it
Right.
didn't have same thing like with the Double Fine game, Keeper.
Mhm,
Super
that's
excited
right.
about that one. That did not have any other platforms at the end card outside of Xbox. However, like my first one, a new Plague Tale game, I'm so hyped for, that looks great. That had like, PS5,
Sure.
PC, all these other things at the end of it. So that's why in the moment it was crazy seeing the PS5 logo at the end
Right.
of the Outer Worlds 2 trailer, actually finally acknowledging it on an Xbox stage. But it's literally just like any other showcase, where like a Sony showcase or a previous Xbox showcase, where you have third-party games there, and then after the show they'll upload the trailer on
Okay.
the PlayStation thing. So like it's not the quality of the show. I just feel like
Right.
in the moment it felt bigger than what it kind of already is.
I'll only push back on the part where
Of
they're
course.
like, "Hey, with Gears of War, we're showing this to an even broader audience, or we're bringing it to an even broader audience." They didn't say PlayStation, just broader audience, and I think that was enough for them to go like I wouldn't say like the floodgates are open, but like the door is definitely ajar.
1,000,000%, but
Yeah.
the door's been ajar for a while now.
Right. Now they're
Prior
just
to the
saying it's
showcase.
open for business.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I do think that that's probably because a lot of people at SGF were saying that it's weird that they didn't have an in-person event when typically they do. And I do feel like that was probably why, because it really was like they were calling it an Xbox Showcase, just like
Yeah.
the other Xbox Showcases, because it wasn't anything different. They just lined it up with all these other events and
1,000,000%.
announcements.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably because I agree. It wasn't necessarily anything big. Like last year's showcase, I would say was bigger because we got bigger titles. But this was more like a showcase, just like a regular showcase, just lined up.
But once again, don't get me wrong, stellar show.
Right.
Great show. Just it wasn't any different from any other Xbox show.
And listen, shout out to Phil Spencer because we talked after the show. He was in the lobby of the hotel and he gave me a little crap. Okay, he saw my shirt and he ran his finger through. He's like, "What's this all about?" Huh? And I go, "Listen, I know it's sacrilege. I watched this during your showcase." And he was just like, huh, "Well, some people would say we're one of the biggest publishers on that platform." And I go, some would say you're the biggest. And I mentioned to Phil how much Gears of War means to me and how thankful I was. And the awesome thing about that interaction was like you can genuinely see this guy genuinely cares about games. I truly believe that. Just with the small conversation that I got to have is like the guy's genuine. His handlers had to peel him away. He genuinely wants to talk to people about video games. And I think that's really awesome. And so Phil, if you're out there, Godspeed, brother, because this Lancer has your name on it.
Whoa.
Let's go. I mean, we could squat up too. I could carry you, Phil. I could carry you if you need it. The PlayStation guys got your back. Lancer out. Let's go. Let's do this. T, what was one of the games? Rip Elder Scrolls 6. What was one of the games that you were hyped about watching on that showcase?
That was one thing I did tell Phil Spencer. I was like, "Listen, buddy, bestie, you gotta stop torturing me with the Elder Scrolls Online and the Fallout 76." I was like, "You gotta stop. I can't take it anymore." I showed him my tattoo. I was like, "My heart can't take it. Can't take it. You gotta stop it. You're killing me. You're killing me." And he did chuckle at that. Okay, so obviously Clockwork Revolution. We're all gonna say that. So I'm not gonna count that because duh. Same thing with Outer Worlds 2.
Count it. Talk about it.
Okay, well, Clockwork Revolution. I want another BioShock. I'm not getting that yet. This is as close as I'm going to get, I think. Also, they went way in depth, like way more in depth than I was anticipating with that trailer. Some would say too long. I would disagree with that. I loved how long they went. I loved how much they showed us. And the more they showed, the more excited I was. I thought it looked really good. I'm really intrigued and I'm really excited.
Dude, the cinematic in the beginning, you're like, "Oh wow, this is a really good cinematic. And it's really long as well. It's very impressive." And then all of a sudden, he's talking to the character, and you just see the choices. You're like, "Oh no, this was not a cinematic. This is the real game." Oh, this game's just gorgeous. This is just, you're right, like a BioShock meets an RPG. Like this is, and just there was so much to it, and it felt almost overwhelming, but just enough to be like, wow, there's a lot of systems here at play, and they feel really confident, even if they're not showing a release date for it yet, to show everything at work. And just the time mechanic as well that they're using here was just looked phenomenal. What say you?
It felt like I was watching a Lord of the Rings movie because it felt like that trailer could have ended 4 separate times.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, we're still going, but I'm still here for it because it looks awesome. So
Yeah.
And as a freight conductor in chat says, In Exile is extremely underrated.
Extremely.
1,000,000%.
And I mean, it shows. Again, Xbox has, I think, some of now I can confidently say they have some of the best developers in the world, like Ninja Theory, Obsidian, and Exile. Those 3 alone are just so dang talented. That's why, like, the next game for me that I was super excited to see was the Outer Worlds 2. Having played Outer Worlds just recently in February, seeing this game here and the combat seeming, and the combat was already good, but even more like in depth and polished, and it seems like you could do all sorts of wacky stuff. Awesome. And they just understood as well, the assignment of like what the Outer Worlds is, which is like just unchecked capitalism and just like buy our way to victory. Like it was just there's just so many jabs. It's just so much fun. I can't wait to dive back into the worlds of Outer Worlds. So yeah, Outer Worlds 2, one of my most anticipated games this year, for sure.
Yeah.
What about
And
you,
just
Kyle?
like shout out to Obsidian just in general for pulling an
3 games.
Insomniac and just going ham
Yeah.
in such a short time. It's
Seriously.
absolutely wild. And every single one of them looks amazing in their own right.
They're coming out with 3 games this year. Avowed, Grounded
Yeah.
2, Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Absolutely insane. My second one that I was super excited to see, they had me for like the first 5 seconds. Like, are we getting a Mario game on Xbox? Because the little warp pipe came up.
Yep.
But Super Meat Boy 3D looks incredible. I can't wait to be so frustrated and get so mad because I keep dying over and over and over again. But man, I love Super Meat Boy, and in that 3D setting, it just looks right. It looks perfect. So I'm super hyped for that one.
Yeah.
I just want to squish him.
Yeah.
But he's gonna explode.
He'll come back. He always does.
It's true. All right, like any one last game for you. What was any of the last highlight?
I think my last game would be No Ghosts at the Grand Hotel, I think is what it was called.
No Ghosts at the
that
Grand
one
Hotel.
looked wacky, and I was in. I could not tell you what was going on, but it was almost like Power Wash Simulator, but you had like a vacuum or something. I don't know. like
it had like the
vacuum.
reggae music track, right?
And you were like fixing it. Your grandpa who owned the hotel went missing or something, the typical story. And you're like fixing up the hotel, but then you have like magic powers and you're going in this other realm. And then you're like fixing up the town, but you can't tell the townspeople how you're fixing up. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on, but I was intrigued.
Yeah. Like there was like, you're right. There was like a simple premise of like, look at this little house game. And you're like, okay, this is this. I played The Sims.
I thought it was compulsion. I thought it was more South Midnight stuff. I was like, oh, that's super quick.
And then I'm like, oh, it's a musical. I was like, no, okay. And then they're like, it's actually like you're stealing shit. I'm like, wait, what? You're like,
but also I want to change my answer because I forgot about Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Oh.
Thanks, Alex.
Here, this is my answer. This
is my for real answer. Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Looks incredible. Can't wait to play it. These are from CD Projekt devs. I think Rebel Wolves is the development team behind it. Dude, Polish vampires. Let's go. Let's go. Looks phenomenal.
Before we move on to what we actually played,
yes,
that's the main part. I got 2 quick shout outs from this one. I believe it's called At Fate's End, the new game from the Spiritfarer devs. Looks beautiful. Again, another studio that's putting in overtime because they're 33 Immortals is in early access.
That's
preview,
them.
Whatever. That's them.
Okay.
So that looks great. And I don't know how best to explain it, so I'm pulling up the Rock Paper Shotgun article about this reveal. Mudang 2 Hearts is a stealth action thriller, Splinter Cell with K-pop and rage zombies, with a little mix of Control in there. I was like, "What is this game? I want to play it." It looks like multiple protagonists you're popping around in between.
Yep.
That looked awesome.
Yeah. It looked very. Light was sitting next to me. They had us. We thought for a minute that was Splinter Cell.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. Great answers, y'all.
It's like Korean Splinter Cell.
Yeah. Also, Ubi, what are you doing? Where is Splinter Cell?
Hi, guys. Just take a fucking remake. All right. Follow-up questions. Papa Taz writes in, hey, Trophy Room Trio, my question this week with the announcement of the ROG Xbox Ally. Do you think we'll see Sony? I know, I can't wait. Sony device will have a Steam launcher in the future. And a similar question, from Hawking 1988. Hey, Trophy Room Trio, with the release of the Switch 2 and the announcement of the new Xbox handheld, do you think we will see a new handheld from PlayStation or an updated Portal? I had one previously and I enjoyed it. However, the need always to be connected and have good connection just made it not viable for everywhere to travel to. So I have a Switch 2 as my portable and a PS5 Pro for my downloaded games onto natively. What are your thoughts? So, I mean, listen, I loved the ROG Xbox Ally. Now they even just dropped the ROG. It's like Xbox Ally, the partnered handheld. I think it's really awesome. From everything I heard from reliable sources, it is stunning. Like the games are running smooth. I love the Discord integration. The fact that like they're panels and you're just flipping through makes it so much easier than the Steam Deck. That alone is like a system seller to me, not gonna lie. I don't know the price tag to it. Don't really care that it's not the podcast for it. This goes for you guys. Do we think we see a PlayStation handheld and an actual one, not an accessory, but like, hey, this is a PlayStation Vita 2? In what type of shape or form? Light? You got very excited, so I'm going to you first.
I'm very excited for the Xbox handhelds. I right now really only have my Steam Deck, which is nice, but I don't have like a ton of Steam games. So it's going to be real nice to have a handheld where I can do all of my stuff. They also had the BattleNet launcher, Blizzard launcher on there too. So I'm wondering if I could play WoW on the go, which would be really exciting.
Dangerous.
So I am real excited for it. Obviously, we've got to see that price tag, but I'm excited regardless.
Yeah.
In terms of PlayStation making one, I don't think so.
Ooh.
I could be way wrong, but I really don't think so. I think they released what they're going to release. I think they gave us what they're going to give us.
Okay.
And I think if we were going to get something else, they would have said like something about it.
Kyle,
I don't know.
don't be a Debbie Downer like Tia here.
Don't call me Daddy.
That's right, Deborah.
I don't see an avenue where PlayStation has an announcement to the same level.
Really?
For the next handheld, I don't. I would love it. I would love to have one where I can download my games natively. Okay, Mr. Hall Monitor, like swinging around your whistle.
It's the Link's necklace I finally got from Witcher.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
it's my fidget thing.
I would love to have a PlayStation handheld where I can actually download natively, which is the big issue with me with the Portal. It just didn't run in my current internet setup. So the Xbox handhelds, like, I'm very, very interested in getting that because I could do my Steam Deck stuff and have Game Pass on it without having to do all the back end stuff. And it seems easy to switch. Apparently Hollow Knight will be there. We'll talk about it.
I have doubts.
We'll see. But I don't think PlayStation would ever feel the need to put a Steam launcher on there because they're still new in that game. So it would just be like PlayStation games native, like the PSN store, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be, and that would be killer. So I don't think they need to add a Steam function for that.
Nope. I think Xbox does that to potentially throw a wrench in PlayStation's plans in the far future. We just saw the FTC crackdown on Apple with the Apple v Epic. Maybe that opens a wedge somewhere along the line, somewhere down the line. But I think there's 100%. Here's what I'm thinking. PlayStation 6 is a big beefy console and it is also a handheld. Like, I think you get the Xbox Series S equivalent, which is a handheld device that you could plug in and take with you on the go. And then you have like the big beefy tower, and that would be like akin to your usual console. I think you get one of those.
Oh, so you're talking like way down the line.
Way down the line.
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about this console generation.
No.
Okay,
I think
down the line. Probably. But like, if we're talking like this cycle, I don't think so.
No, yeah, I think the Portal was just such a huge success for them, and they're like, oh, people really do want to play games on the go, and like, let's be honest, y'all, if games are becoming more and more of this like homogenized, hey, you can still play PS4 games and PS5 games, like whatever, then why not just make a handheld that's like the equivalent of a PS4 Pro or like a Switch 2, whatever, that just plays PlayStation games? Like I would love that. I would buy that day one. So I do think we'll get something down the line, but it's not going to be anything right now in the foreseeable future. All right, we got 2 more questions. Katie writes in, good evening, Trophy Room Trio. Hope you guys had a blast at SGF. Something ticked off the bucket list. So my question is, what are the highs of the whole experience? And another question, what are your disappointments when it comes to what was shown at SGF? We talked about that a little bit. I saw a few games I liked at SGF, but was overall disappointed. I felt like it was way off too, it showed off way too many anime Japanese styled games. Yeah, okay, we agree. If you're into those games, that's good. If you're not, if you're going to be eating well, but if you're not, half the show is full of them, and yeah, a bit of a letdown. My games of the whole weekend, though, had to be Clockwork Revolution, Dying Light, The Beast, Expanse, Osiris, Reborn, and Don't Nod's game, Aphelion. As always, guys, I'm happy for you and glad you got to experience all of this. Much love. What was the highest point for you guys at SGF, just as a whole, the whole kit and caboodle? Kyle Stevenson.
This is a sappy answer.
Go for it.
It's not the games, it's seeing everybody.
Yeah.
That's always the case, because like we can play games whenever, wherever. But getting to be in one spot with every single person that I love and appreciate and care about, and not saying that others were not there or not part of that circle, because they are, but just being with such a majority of them, of people I look up to, that we are mutuals on social media, and people that I always wanted to chat with, or finding new friends like our new TikTok friends, the Co-op 64 boys.
Yes.
Were absolutely amazing.
Future friends of the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, it's definitely running into folks and people knowing who we are and what we do. Yep. And it was very cool. That's my favorite part about the whole thing.
What say you, Light?
I would agree with that. I had said a couple times that as like a content creator, this job can feel very isolating, especially as a content creator. Sometimes it feels a little bit like high school. Like there's cliques, there's groups, and if you're not in it, it's hard for you to make a group of friends in that space. Yeah. Now that I'm on the media side with this podcast and with you guys, that is no longer the case. So I'm going to get emotional.
Aw. You.
So like, you guys obviously welcomed me in with very warm arms, and everybody on the media side did as well. But going to an event like this and seeing creators and seeing media and seeing all of these people, it reminds you that it doesn't have to be isolating. And it's a nice reminder to see how many people know you and care about you.
Yep.
And you guys just like absolutely destroyed my heart every time you introduced me to people and talked about how you had me join the show. And I just appreciate the heck out of you guys. And
love you,
that's definitely the highlight of this event, is seeing all these people and meeting all these people. I met some amazing people. I had mutuals that I finally met in person that like sang my praises. I went to a really special dinner that I can't really talk about, but was really cool. And they told me they had been watching me for a long time and they were so excited to be working with me. And it's just like, you don't realize that when you're working by yourself behind a computer screen. And it was just really validating and really heartwarming and really inspiring.
And then unfortunately she met Luke Lore.
And then I'm crying.
Love you, T, and
love you.
This just means that I will just delay my sappy text to both of you further out.
It's 2 weeks from now.
I have it written up. I just haven't sent it yet because I'm too tired. But.
Yeah, I think for me it was the swag bag. It was
The V-Bucks.
You know what it
the
was? It was the free food in the media
Yeah.
lounge. It was pretty good.
It's
The Wi-Fi was pretty
about the
great.
food trucks.
I
No.
got Light and Kyle's V-Bucks that were in the swag
Exactly.
bags. That's my favorite thing.
It's gonna buy me one skin. No, I echo everything that Light said. And just like seeing people that again, like seeing fans and like, you know, we had one person shout out Adam going like, "Are you Mr. Badbit?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Whoa!" And then they're like, "Are you T?" And she's like, "Yeah, whoa, I love you. You're great addition." And then when he turned over to see you, Kyle, he freaked out. He lost. He's like, "Are you Kyle
It
Stevenson?"
was the sweetest moment ever.
And then as he's walking away, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm the favorite, right?" Sure, buddy.
Don't put it on me. It was just the escalation of seeing everybody once about.
No, it was you, dude. You're the heart of the show.
You're the heart of the show,
Yeah,
Kyle. We all know
Mhm.
it.
But like one of the coolest things was like seeing Brian Altano come up to us and like just tell us we're doing good. It's like
Not at all
holy
jealous, by the way.
shit. What's that?
I said not at all jealous. I didn't get to talk to Brian.
Well, that's why sometimes you got to go to that secret dinner we were talking about, you know, at the Yard House.
I was gonna say that was a different dinner.
Yeah, that
Also,
was-
shout out to frickin' Max Scoville. Probably thinks I'm a psychopath.
Why? What did you say to Max?
We're all standing in a circle. I'm talking to Brian Altano.
Yeah.
Max obviously comes over to get Brian to like leave because we've been talking for a long time. And I had just been talking about how I would love it if my daughter was a lesbian so I didn't have to deal with boys. So then I was like, I don't want a teenage boy with this stupid looking mullet.
Oh no.
And Brian Altano's like, you mean like kid's mullet? And I was like, listen, he doesn't have a mullet. He just has a very stylized haircut.
That's right. That's right.
He's like, wait, what are you talking about? So then I had to explain, oh, you know, I wish my daughter was a lesbian. And he was like, what? I'm like, yep, I'm just meeting you for the first time. Hi, I'm Teegan. I wish my daughter was lesbian, and I was bad mouthing your haircut.
I need
But
to
I
go
wasn't
now.
bad mouthing his because he doesn't actually.
Right.
Here's the thing: Brian
Yeah.
Altano said he has a mullet. He does not have a mullet. He's
Oh,
got a
okay.
slick back with shaved sides. That's
Mm,
more like a mohawk.
yes.
That is not a mullet.
And
In my
I- and-
defense.
Yeah, and I also said he's a snazzy dresser, and then he's like, "Nah, you humor me." So I forget what he said exactly, but like, you know, don't worry, we saved it.
Also,
We
I
saved it.
rarely feel short. I felt very short with that group of people.
Yeah, same.
They were all very tall.
Now you know how I feel always. All right. Last question. Question comes from Ghetto Berry. Out of all the showcases shown in the last few days, PlayStation's State of Play was the winner for me. I went in with low expectations and came out impressed, whereas SGF and Xbox Showcase, I went in high and came out low. Mind you, both showed amazing games. I guess it was pacing that kept that kept mum about a lot of big games. Which of the events impressed you the most? Much love. Which one?
I think
Kyle.
it's got to be the Xbox show
Same.
because that was legit all gas, no brakes.
Yep.
I think there was not a minute that was wasted. Granted, not all of the announcements were exciting. Like, let's all be real. Who cares about ESO anymore?
Ah,
But now you can have pets.
yeah.
Yay!
yeah. All right.
But like, yeah, that was like trailer after trailer after trailer. Sarah Bond coming on and talking big news about the Play
Yeah.
Anywhere initiative. Then you got Matt Booty on, again hyping up everything we talked, ending it with Phil, minus the last game they showed, which weird, but yeah, I think that was the best one. I haven't seen any of the other indie showcases still, but like
Fair.
the Xbox showcase was the highlight for me.
Like, you're nodding, you agree, Xbox?
I agree simply because I think surface level, it's possible PlayStation and Xbox are the same. But for me personally, Xbox had more games than I was excited about. PlayStation, I was like, I can see why people would be very excited for this,
Mhm.
but it wasn't a me showcase. There weren't really many games there that I was super interested in. With Xbox, it was like that same level. They were both equally diverse, I think, with the types of games they had and showed, but I wanted to play more of the Xbox ones. There was more that were my cup
Yep.
of tea on the Xbox sides, and obviously the handheld blew me away. So I think the Xbox wins out for me there.
Yeah, I think Clockwork Revolution just bam, like that's it. Show over. That one blew me away. I loved it. Yeah.
And I do
Okay.
feel like now, in their
Yeah.
defense, I'm sick of seeing Elder Scrolls Online, but I do feel like I have to try it.
Mm.
Because
Let's go.
clearly I'm not getting my next Elder Scrolls game anytime soon. So maybe it's time for me to bite the bullet and try it after I Platinum Oblivion.
Yes.
I feel like that
I-
might be like in the fine print of every ESO trailer that's there. It's like you've seen them all. You're legally obligated to play now.
Yeah.
It's been years of
Maybe
seeing this
the
game.
fine
You
print
have to.
says, until Light plays this game, we will not release the next Elder Scrolls game.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, everybody. It's now time for our Game Fest highlights. These are all the games that we played, and got hands-on of, and we'll have more even next week as well, as embargoes are still under wraps. So Kyle Stevenson for some of these. So Kyle Stevenson, take it away. What's the first game
I'm
that
starting?
you got to play? Yeah, why not,
Okay,
dude?
hold on. Let me pick which one I want to start with, so
Okay,
I can pull
please.
up the trailer.
'Cause, yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot here. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, I was. Spoiler alert! I was back to back on appointments. Which hopefully next year when we go back, because we will go back, you guys will also be back to back, just because hopefully you'll get the invite at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was like all over the place. But the one that I've known for a while now, and I'm excited that I can finally talk about it, is Drinkbox's new game, Blighted.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my god. If you don't know who Drinkbox is, creators of Guacamelee, Severed, Nobody Saves the World. Their art style is absolutely gorgeous. They make, in my opinion, nothing but straight bangers. And this is their first foray into the 3D visual art style. And so when we got that appointment email, that was like the fastest. Let me book a time now so I can play it, because I love all their stuff. Think of it like a Hades mixed with like Souls level type of attacks and mechanics. Like there are bonfires you saw briefly in this trailer if you're watching the video version of like what's the word I'm looking for? The bonfires, the trees are like the bonfires. You've got
Science
a
and grace.
parry. Yeah, you got parrings in there. You lots of secrets and finding new areas here and there. Like it's awesome. And the way this demo played was I played with the developer in co-op to make it a little bit easier. It was the first time that this game has been playable outside of the studio. And they wanted to make sure it was a nice little kind of easing into the world in the game, because it's like the first foray into this style for them. And I did discover the first thing that they've ever experienced. I walked up to the boss, and the boss just poof disappeared. He was so scared, he just like God, and like
He couldn't handle your
that's
greatness.
new. Exactly. But outside of that, like easily one of my most anticipated games of next year. Right
Can I
now,
make an elevator pitch for it?
What?
Can I make an elevator pitch for it?
Go for it.
It looks like No Rest for the Wicked minus the guilt you have playing it. This game, like it looks really good. It looks, it looks like something like, you're right, top down, maybe Diablo-esque. Yeah, Hades, Hades is a good way of looking at it too, of like where the camera's located. It also gives me the top-down Zelda vibes as well. And so, seeing the parry and the dodge mechanic in it.
Let me tell you, Joe, parrying feels good.
All right.
Feels really good.
Yeah, that looks freaking great.
Yeah.
What game do I want to talk about? I'm gonna go wholesome. You might no, I'm not gonna go wholesome. Never mind. I take that back. I'm gonna ease us into it.
Okay.
With Directive 8020. This is
Oh.
from Supermassive. Lucky enough to just sneak on in because the demo only runs for 20 minutes. And it just gives you a nice vertical slice of what you can expect from Supermassive's next entry into the Dark Pictures. They're not calling it anthology, just Dark Pictures thing. This game is terrifying, right? Just like all Supermassive games are. The creatures are shapeshifters, so they're shifting into the crewmates, and you don't know who is who, and you don't know if you should maybe kill one of them or not. And you get hunted down as well. So they pretty much show you a cinematic, an action sequence, and then a hard choice. And it is just like any other Supermassive game that you've played, where your choices matter. But the interesting thing here is if you don't like the choice that you make, you could rewind and choose a different choice. So I really dug that mechanic, because how many times have we done a choice and going, or you're about to make a choice, you hit pause and you just go, okay, I'm going to YouTube what happens next.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or for me, I think the choice is going to be one thing based off the dialogue, and then you make it and it's not what you think it's actually going to be, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like sometimes the text on the screen is not like the tone of how they present it. So I'm like, wait, that's not what I thought I was doing right there.
Yeah, it really gives you second chances to make those decisions and kind of like stick with them, or you don't feel like you have to stick with them. It was a pretty good demo. It comes out 2 days before my birthday. The only thing that I wasn't completely sold on some of the acting, so that was the only thing. Not by the main actress, but one of the characters. I thought the face and some of the lines were just delivered weirdly. Again, unfinished build of the game, so I'm going to give that, a little break, but just to acknowledge. Yeah. Like, what about you, Miss? What have you played? Because I know you didn't get to play as many games because you didn't get as many appointments.
Yeah, so I was really only able to play 2 games myself. And then other than that, I just watched when you guys were playing. Because unfortunately, when I tried to walk up to people and get added on 2 times, it was always when I couldn't. Oh, wait, I played 3. I did love all 3 of the games that I was able to play. But I think out of those 3, the one that stood out to me the most, that I was most excited for, is Grave Seasons. It's a Blumhouse game.
Ooh, okay.
So for this, imagine you are playing Animal Crossing. I'm sorry, not Animal Crossing. Wow, why am I blanking on the name?
Grave Seasons. Like Farm, not Farmville, but
what's
Stardew?
Stardew
Valley?
Stardew Valley, thank you.
you
Which I love. I don't know, I'm blanking on that one. Imagine you're playing Stardew, but it has a murder mystery twist to it.
Okay.
And like a darker twist. So when I was playing the demo, I was farming, I was planting, I used my shovel to dig up some soil, and a hand popped up out of the soil, a bloody hand. And then I went to pick a plant, and there was a bloody ring. And then I went with someone into the woods at night, and something came out and murdered them while I was in the woods with them. So it's like Stardew. Oh yeah, that. It's Stardew Valley with a darker, creepier twist and mystery to it. And also your main character, you are just out of jail. So like it's creepy, but it's also cozy, if that makes sense. It's like a cozy. And I was really intrigued by that, especially if you love Stardew. I do think this is going to be something that you would be interested in.
Dang,
I also had a appointment to play this. Did not get to the nighttime part, just because we had to jet to an offsite demo. But I was shocked. I am not a cozy farming game person in the slightest. They really streamlined it. Like, it is just kind of like the what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a part of the reason why you're there. It's not the sole gameplay focus. It's very much narrative first. And I had a great time just like picking the crops and hand popping out. If you're watching the video version, yes, everyone in this game is hot as well.
I was about to say
yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, you kidding me? Fishnet girl and beefcake dude? What are you getting? What are you trying to do to me?
Yeah. and like it's a very chill time. This is the
Yeah.
first time actually hearing that it's also coming to PlayStation, which is very, very exciting. Yeah, I'm very excited. This is the
Yeah.
only mouse and keyboard game I played all weekend too, so that says something that I was into it.
Well, yeah, that said, mouse and keyboard players, you still disgust me. We'll talk about some travesty that I had to go through later. But no, that game looks great, and it's something that to mention because we had problems with the Keeley show and highlight here. The great thing about like I already forgot the name, Grave Seasons.
Yep.
It's like it's not just the ladies that are cutie patooties, but it's also the fellas as well. Like they got gays for both.
And
So
also
it's-
how they're portrayed, right? Like I have no issue with
Absolutely.
seeing tons of hot people in the game, but it didn't zoom in on their butt and then zoom out. It didn't zoom in on her breasts as she was zipping up her clothing.
Yep.
You know, like they are just attractive human beings, and it's not sexualized, if that makes sense. That's where I had the issue with this show.
Absolutely.
Also, you know, turtleneck guy, call me. See my next game. Let's go. Let's listen. Let's get wholesome. Let's talk about Toem 2.
Yeah.
You mean murder isn't wholesome? What?
Toem is a game that I've heard Kyle gush about and really enjoy, and just the internet as a whole. A game that I've never played myself, and when taking this appointment, I was a little nervous I wouldn't get the hook of like taking pictures of things and solving like these little puzzles and riddles around the world. Oh my god. Immediately after playing this demo, once I got home, I downloaded the original Toem to play this game.
Same.
Yes.
It's just so wholesome. And they're like one of the gimmicks are like, and we added a jump button. And I'm like, oh, you guys do something else. Yeah, jumping around the world, they're like, hey, go to the highest peak of the town. And it's just like giving you context clues. And I jump on the tower and I take a picture, and it's like, bam, a little, book stamped that on in my book. Then all of a sudden I walk to the next guy. He's like, hey, go find pictures of 3 sheep and I'll let you cross this bridge. And as I'm traversing through what seems like puzzle pieces that I'm traversing in and out of these zones by, I'm finding sheep and I'm taking pictures of them. I'm trying to find these knights that have like just totally walked out on their captain for various reasons, and you're finding out why. And then there's like cute little puzzles of like sculpting a beautiful just like sculpture and just finding out how many blocks you need to get rid of or to manipulate in order to get that sculpture right. The 30 minutes just flew by, and I never felt like I was lost in a bad way. I was just exploring and having fun and taking pictures of things and just having a nice time. I really loved Toem 2.
I sat down for my appointment for this one, and they're like, do you have any questions before you get started? I was like, no, I absolutely love the first one. And it feels like I gave them a break because I was just like in the zone. I was like, I'm going through, I'm finding all these quests. I know where to go. I'm figuring out the puzzles. It generally felt like I was here at home playing the game just on my own, not at an event. It's so adorable. I love the fact that they really all they needed to do was add the jump button, and it feels like a different game and add so much to it. I also love the little object stuff that you can do when you pull up the camera. Like you see it a little bit in this trailer where you're like snipping away vines, which we didn't get to play, but you get a hammer and you can break things. And it was a really cool, like, oh, I get it. Because I was just hitting the button expecting it just to be like, just bash it, just hit the button once. But no, it's kind of like a Morse code kind of thing, like the dot dash system where you have to hold it down for bigger hits. It just makes it more like interactive with it. And again, a super wholesome game. Everyone should play Toem and have this one on their radar.
This was one that I wasn't able to get an appointment for, and they were so sweet. When I went up to them, they were like, oh, well, we have our lunch at 2. No one will be here. You can play it at 2. I was like, no, you're eating your lunch. And like, no, it's fine. You can play. We'll do our lunch. I was like, no, I'm not taking over your lunch. Like, they were so sweet. When I was watching Joe play, I was so like, I just was like, okay, I need to get my hands on this game. I was so excited, but it was also still fun watching. But I also was just like, damn, I just want to play.
Yeah, we offered them, hey, if you guys want to be on the show, they just lit up. They're like, yeah. We would love to. This would be excellent. So yeah, they're very sweet, and love that game, man. It was a ton of fun. Kyle, what's the next game that you got to play, buddy?
Let's just keep it in the pop agenda world.
Okay.
Because they really had a stellar showing. This was my first demo of Summer Games Fest, and I can't stop thinking about it. Of course, I'm talking about Dosa Divas from Outer Loop Games, makers of Falcon Age and Thirsty Suitors. It is another RPG with kind of like Super Mario Sea of Stars kind of active combat where you have to be in it when you are battling. And I said it to the creator Eka with all their games, and I mean I meant this pun literally. Their games just have so much flavor, both in the visual style and the way it plays.
Yep.
And my favorite part about this is like all the enemies, it's not just the same attack every single time. They are actively trying to mess you up and throw you off. Like I don't know if this trailer will show it, but there's just like this businessman and his regular attack, he just kind of comes up and he like throws his hand up like, oh, look up there, and then he tries to hit you with the other hand. Or there's another attack where he's just kind of like squiggling along on the floor, and he's like slowly coming up to you, and it's all time based to like block it and parry it and whatnot. It just got so much style. It's super fun. You have to get ingredients and then cook meals to help out with the townsfolk. The whole idea is this like big corporation is trying to take over the food for this village, and it's all like paste and not like enticing or appetizing at all. And like the town is so like brainwashed by it, and they're like, oh, we need more like food paste to whatever. And the main character here is like, you realize we're a fishing village, right? Like it's very much just a story about the culture and the food. And yeah, it's really, really good. It felt great to play.
Yeah, watching you play it, it definitely gave me Sea of Stars vibes. And just like they are really dead set with the food puns to such a nice degree. Like they really thought of it all there. This is definitely a game I'll be checking out day one because it seems like it's right up my alley as well.
Yeah.
Great name, Stevenson.
I like Dosa Divas.
I checked out Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This comes
you
from 505. Yes, I was late to the appointment. Boo me. So me and my buddy Josh, we were playing it. We were taking turns, like it was like we were couch co-oping it. Dude, when to say it very briefly, what if you had bloodborne movement, bloodborne weapons that matched with the feeling of that of like Sekiro? So it is very action. It is not as much RPG as what I saw. It is a ton of fun. So if this seems like this is a very solid Souls-like, it is gosh dang beautiful to look at. Like just the color palettes that they chose, like the woman's like tunic that's like bright red and just like the vivid greens just looked so great and popped so well on screen. But holy crap. They're like, hey, there's this first boss that will unlock like a certain mode, like a hard mode if you beat him. They're like, just to let you know, no one ever beat this guy in the playthrough. The guy's my buddy Josh is like, okay, challenge accepted. He did not even get a quarter of the way through. This game is difficult as heck, but everything about it, just very. This is the most Mr. Badbit game out there. This is a day one, July 24th. Let's freaking go. Kyle Stevenson, any questions, comments?
No, I'm happy for you. I saw this at the corner of my eye, and it looks very stylish and fun to play. So it's
good.
Very, very cool to hear that it is exactly that.
Yep.
we're just eating well with these style of games lately. Like
Mhm.
we had Kazan already this year, which I need to actually play. Lights of P DLC, this one. There's so many announcements during SGF. Like there's so much. There's so much out there.
The thing that I was talking to Wu over at PlayStack, and he was like, the thing about like from like those style games is like, if the movement doesn't feel like a From Software game, people are out. If the dodge doesn't feel like a From Software dodge, people are like, you lose half the audience. This feels legitimately like I'm playing Bloodborne in terms of movement and in terms of dashes. The only thing I don't like is that the dashes are not rolls; they're just straight up dash.
Mm.
So that's going to take a little getting used to, but everything else looked like this is going to be a very solid Soulsborne, and I'm 100% locked in.
Nice.
Kyle Stevenson, what about you?
Oh, let's go to Light.
Oh, Light, what about you? I'm trying to save her because she doesn't have to as many, but okay. Light, what about you?
Oh.
What have you played?
So one of the ones that I played that I think you were going to talk about your biggest surprise, I'm going to talk about now,
Go
was
for it.
Lego Party. I am so excited by Lego Party. If you guys played Mario Party, this is nothing new. It's not like a brand new concept or idea, but it's the Lego version. Oh my God, was this so fun. So I was supposed to have my appointment with you guys. And
Yep.
then Ains was really nice and let me hang out with him for a little bit because I had nothing going on. And I was able to play with them before I played with you guys. And after playing with them, I wanted to play more. So I could not wait till I got to play with you guys. It's just so fun. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
It doesn't have one of those things where you can like steal bricks at the very end like Mario Party does. But the mini games were a ton of fun. The commentary was funny, and I don't know, I was having a grand old time. They filmed us because apparently we were just, famous or something. They wanted our
Look at me.
reactions. But I wish I could get our hands on that tape because it's just crazy. It was fun. I was having a great time, super lighthearted, super easy for everyone to play, even if you're not a gamer, but also easy to play if you are a gamer. I lost every single mini game and somehow still ended up winning the overall game.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a good time. It's a good time.
I will say I'm very happy that we and I'm sure you had a great time when you played with Ains, but like I'm happy it was us three and then our friend CG Danny B playing with us as well. So we had a full four. We all knew each other. We were all yelling and cursing at each other. We were having a great time. It felt like we were playing Mario Party or like a party-based game with just in general. And yeah, like you nailed it. It's just fun. And yes, Light got a trophy.
Yeah, please can we click on her picture to enlarge it? We need to see the trophy. Danny B, look at that. Beautiful. It's a beautiful trophy.
Yeah.
That's a winner's trophy right there.
Absolutely.
Danny B almost made the trophy room beg for a participation trophy.
Yeah.
But thank God Light won it for us.
Stole it from him right at the end.
Right at the end. It's so good that I bought Mario Party Jamboree.
Nice.
just to feel something. But like, and I'm telling you, like, this is my biggest surprise because when you first saw it at like SGF, you maybe just discounted it as like, oh, just Lego, but like Mario Party. But now it's like, yeah, but it's a ton of fun. Like all the mini games were fun. I didn't have a favorite because they were all great. Like I was dead last losing, and I was still having a blast with you guys. As someone who isn't a Mario Party guy, Lego Party got me through the door, and I genuinely can't wait to play more of this. Like the turkeys were hilarious. Like sabotaging people by just throwing turkeys on their heads. Like it's a lot of wholesome fun. And knowing that now this is also a crossplay with Switch, with Xbox, with PC, with PlayStation, awesome. I'm there.
I will say, I think Mario Party probably has this too, but there were points where like you had to team up with other people for like head-to-head games. We didn't get any of those, but those were wild too because if you won, I want to say you won a brick or something. So sometimes you were teamed up with someone that was your biggest rival going into that moment, and then you had to be best friends. And then it was fun.
Yeah.
It's
just so much fun. And then like just at the end of it, like you guys get to kind of beat each other up when it shows like who's number one and who's number two and all that jazz. Like
you got to go up on the podium and punch them off.
Awesome. genuinely love that game.
Who do we
so
have to
much.
contact to get that video?
I'm
I want
trying.
it.
I'm
I
trying.
want it.
I actually, as when we played it after that day, I had to go back to the hotel to head home,
Mhm.
and the PR person actually was staying at my hotel when we were in the elevator. It was like, "Oh, funny to see you here." So like, yeah, I could. We made that connection. She was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you guys had such a great time." It was like the best group that day.
We
Also,
were
they gave us.
literally shouting at like so loud.
We really were. We were
so annoying.
disruptive.
Yeah.
But also they gave us a nice little chocolate Australian snack, which was delicious.
Yeah.
I just found mine in my purse today. I forgot to eat it.
It's a,
My
it's a chocolate-
koala.
It's a chocolate koala.
It's a chocolate koala with
It was
caramel.
so good.
So
Also,
good.
I did find it funny. Like we showed up to that appointment, and a dev was like, "Okay, cool. Do you need any help with anything?" They were like, "No," and then they just went off and played it by themselves on the couch
Yeah.
next to us, and just let
Yeah.
us go.
That's how fun it is, man. I really.
It really
genuinely
does
love my
speak
time.
for itself. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah. All right. This one's for me, Kyle Stevenson. I don't know if you got to play this, but I messaged my buddy CJ. I was like, listen, I know there's appointments are full, but can you get me in, brother? And he's like, no. But he gave me a hint. He's like, come at our lunch. Our lunch is around this time. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going. Lumines Arise from Enhance. This is my game of show. Besides Pragmata, which we're talking about, this is my game of show. I loved Lumines Arise. This is Enhance, the makers of Humanity and Tetris Effect, and this is their take on Luminous with the same vibe of Tetris Effect. So you're getting this chill music with these beautiful effects that are surrounding you, and you're just in the zone playing Luminous and connecting pieces together to create big giant blocks to help just destroy and make smaller blocks out of and create space. And it's all about not being able to fill up the bar or the screen or else you lose. So chill. The vibes were immaculate. This is just so incredibly beautiful. The first song that you get is just like reminded me of the last song of Tetris Effect, where it's like the story of these games is really what you're feeling in the moment. And I was just getting lost in it, and I was just having so much fun. And I love it. It's just similar to like the Lego Party, where the guy next to you who's working the booth is also legitimately as into it as you are. And he's just like, hey, if you move the block a little bit to the right. And I'm like, yeah, no, I got this. And he's like, actually, you moved a little bit to the left. I was like, oh, yeah. And then like, he's like, yeah, I see what you did there. Okay, this is really good. You're doing great. Was able to complete the whole demo. Lumines Arise comes out this fall. It's literally my game of show. I loved it so much. I literally downloaded Luminous Remastered on my Switch 2 just to play it on the plane ride over. So yeah, Lumines Arise. Well, I told you guys I was hyped for it. It exceeded all my expectations. I love this game so much.
This was one where I was watching Joe play it on the couch because I had no appointments and I was very tired. And watching all of like the movement and the lights and the everything that was going on, I felt like I was high or something. And it was just making me so tired. Like I wanted to fall asleep, not because it was boring, but because it was like putting me in a trance, if that makes sense. And I was just like, whoa. And then I was falling asleep. And then luckily Beans got games. Shout out to Beans. Saw me and came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and made me stand up because I was literally falling asleep on the couch because I was like hypnotized by this, like these hands swirling these yarn balls of static electricity. And I was like, I'm going to fall asleep right now. It's like when you get your hair washed and you feel like you're going to fall asleep. It's like you're not bored, but it's just like so soothing.
Relaxing. Yeah.
That's
like,
what
this game is, man.
This couch.
It's so good. Yeah. I cannot recommend it enough. Kyle Stevenson, what say you, sir? Where are you at right now?
I'm gonna do a block of appointments I had because they're all in the same building.
Okay.
Just to catch up on things. speaking about feeling like I was on drugs while playing a video game. This game is what I imagined an acid trip be. It felt like. I played Morsels from Furcula and Aperna.
Okay.
What you're seeing on the video screen is how it looks. It's got that CRT kind of effect to it.
Yeah.
Some crazy colors. It is a rogue like Metroidvania like kind of game where you play as different kind of morsels. What are these little dudes? They each have their own like little power-ups and quirks. And you just gotta try to survive and evolve. It's a trip.
Okay.
It is a very hard video game. You attack by using the face buttons to point in the direction. So like triangle would be shooting north, square would be shooting west.
Okay.
Kind of like that style of gameplay.
Yeah.
You have buffs and debuffs as you go along. You're collecting cheese. You're collecting daisies for shields. The art styles are all over the place. It is so weird and quirky and unique. It's awesome. The dev was very, very excited to actually like have people play and talk about it. And there's so much to this game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really good. This is an old trailer because obviously it is not out
Yeah.
yet. But it's it's definitely, people should have that one on their radar for sure if that's the style of game that you're into. The next one from Annapurna, let's see if the trailer is up. It's called Snap and Grab. This was a secret unannounced game when we booked the appointment, and think of it as Pokemon Snap.
Okay.
But you're doing heists and doing crime. And so the point of it is you play as the character that you're seeing on screen, and you don't get your hands dirty. You got people to do all the heist stuff for you. Your whole goal in this is taking pictures of the area and then using those pictures to set up kind of like the corkboard with the yarn.
Oh, that's
what
awesome.
happens next. You don't actually like go to a corkboard or whatever, but it's putting the pictures in the right place, and then you play out the heist. And if it is successful, then you win. But the whole point is like going around and taking pictures of these different things and learning about these characters and items and how they play together. And each location has multiple different ways to do the heist and different outcomes and ways to go about it. The characters are super funny and unique. The dev that we talked to, Cecia, they were super into just the whole vibe. There's so many puns, and it was something that I thought might have been hard for me to grasp my head around. Mike and I very quickly fell into it, and it just became second nature of like, we have to steal this giant key, and it's being held by an ice sculpture. There's 3 different ways to go about it. And there's a chandelier. Let's take a picture of the chandelier and see if we could drop that down and break the statue. We can't do that yet because the artist is nearby, and if we try to do that, he will catch us and kick us out. So we got to figure out a way to get the artist away from the ice sculpture so we can go through this stuff. Is you got to take a picture about him and learn more about him and what sets him off, and try to find something to learn more. Like 1,000,000%, but you're not doing any combat.
Awesome.
I love that.
You're just taking pictures and trying to put the puzzle in place. It's very, very good.
Yeah, it's like the art style is like Barbie in the 80s.
1,000,000%.
Set in Miami Vice.
Yes,
awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that
I'm very intrigued. What's another 2, Kyle Stevenson?
Sure. Well, I'm not done with Annapurna just yet. Because there's a reason why I didn't talk about this when we were talking about our favorite SGF trailers.
Okay.
Y'all, I'm so excited. I can finally talk about it. Another one that I was very excited about. I got to play Mixtape.
Dude. This trailer looks
so
awesome.
here we go. Let me pull the curtain back, and I'm gonna
Please.
let everyone. We're all friends here. I love all of you very, very much. I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk to all of you about the most embarrassing moment of my entire life.
Are you sure?
I'm 1,000,000%.
This is a fear I have.
This is the only thing that I could do to make it feel like
Normal.
I'm not holding it inside.
Talking
Gotcha.
about it, I think
I gotta
helps.
get it out.
Fair enough.
As a bigger human, the fear is like, what if where the demos are, the chairs aren't strong enough? And lo and behold, they're like, all right, you're gonna go sit in the chair. The moment I sit in the chair, boom, straight on the floor. The chair legs just kind of like broke out underneath me. Which, looking back on it, those chair legs were very, very thin.
Was it the ones that are like thin little metal strips?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, that's
Yes.
I would have been like, let me stand.
Luckily, I was fine. I'm not hurt. I didn't break anything.
Yeah.
On the set or whatever. And shout out again to the Pop Agenda team. Very kind and understanding, and they routinely were like, do not worry about it. It's not your fault. Don't be upset. It's fine. Which was very, very nice, because I was very emotional playing this, not because the game is emotional. It was just I was so embarrassed.
Sure.
Because like I had easy allies to my right. I had like Naomi Kyle playing a demo across diagonally. Like, cool, great impression, Kyle. Anyways, with that all being said, this game is incredible. I didn't love the Artful Escape, which is what these devs, the first game was. Just the art style alone has enough for somebody to be into it. It's got kind of that animation style, kind of like the Spider-Verse, kind of like the frame rate thing going on, which is really, really cool. But it's all about being a kid in the 90s, a teenager in the 90s, just causing havoc with one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. Everything is set to like these really iconic from these artists you're seeing on
Smashing
the screen right now.
Iggy Pop,
Portishead, Silverchair,
Lush,
The Cure. Like the soundtrack is absolutely incredible. I played two different. It was a very quick demo. But like there's a whole section of you're just driving around with your two friends, and the whole point, the music is playing and there's only one button press, and all you're doing is head banging, and like that's the whole gameplay section. And it cuts between like your hand tapping the door, like your arms outside the window and you're just tapping the outside of the door, or you're like eating the burger in unison to the beat, and like there's no high score, there's no point to it, but you just felt like you had to headbang along in rhythm to the music. The skateboarding section is great. There's another section I played where you're at a party, you're underage, you're in high school, I believe, and one of your friends is severely incapacitated, and you have to put her in a shopping cart because the cops are coming to break it up. Right there, you're seeing on the screen. And you are trying to keep your cart on the street as you're sliding down. It's a big spectacle, and then you come to find out it's just like your reimagining of how things went down, but it didn't really go down that way. It's just a great coming of age tale, and I'm so excited to play the full thing. I think it's going to be super, super special.
Oh yes. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so much more. Let's go with the other Blumhouse game I played.
Okay.
That like you were watching Mike play, because I didn't. Let me. I didn't play it. I watched Mike play it, but I got enough of it from the devs who we're asking questions to while we're playing. It's called Cristole, Theater of Idols. Joe, I feel like that you're gonna like this game a whole lot.
Okay. Let me take a look.
It's another one, like it's very, very Bioshocky. It's a first-person shooter. And the really cool mechanic with this one is your ammunition. You don't pick up ammo in the world. The way you refill your ammo, it's all using your blood and your health bar. So in order to refill your ammo, you're going to have to take away parts of your health bar. And so you got to make sure every hit counts. So you got to be methodical with it. And there's ways like you can consume dead bodies to regain your health. And get syringes to refill your health if you need it, but like that's how you reload the shotgun. If you're watching the video version, you just like pop it open and you shove your palm into it
Ugh.
to reload.
Ugh.
And all the enemies are like these statues. So the dev was like, because of this mechanic, you don't need to worry about headshots. You just need to be worried about hitting the enemies.
Okay.
Because they don't have any organs. Like a headshot doesn't do any more damage just because it's a statue. And there's puzzles and stuff. You got to be super stealthy. There is a very big, like, monstrous statue. I believe she's called Dolores.
Yes, Dolores was coming to get us.
Love it.
Dolores
Love
kept
it.
coming after Mike, and Mike's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but she's very scary. It's got a really cool vibe to it, and I think that ammunition mechanic alone is very unique.
Yeah,
Nice.
it reminded me of like BioShock meets Lies of P in terms of the art style and the architecture and the enemy type. But one thing I thought was really cool is that it's definitely like a horror game, but it's not the jump scare in your face horror. It's the ominous horror of that steady buildup of like something is following me.
The buildup of tension.
And then when anything does happen, it extra scares you because you have had that slow buildup of tension the entire time and stress, so that when there is a little thing, it's like a big thing, even though it wouldn't necessarily be a big thing. And that's one of those you're talking to said that was exactly what they were going for. They didn't want to kind of make you numb to jump scares all the time, so they didn't focus on that. They focused on the environmental stress and tension and anxiety to have that kind of be the creep factor and the scare factor.
Yeah. It's very good.
Hey, Kyle, want to do a kickflip?
Sure.
We played an hour of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, and let me tell you something. I'm not good in either of those games.
Correction. You played an hour because your demo was before mine. And when I showed up, you were still there. I'm like, whoa, Joe, why are you still here?
Because I was having fun. I was playing Michelangelo. And seriously, I suck at these games. I'm awful. And watching one of the Iron Galaxy devs cringe while I played really just sold it for me. No, Deej was cheering me on. He's like, you could do this, little guy. And I was like, no, I can't. But
you can do it.
Dude, this game's so much fun. Like, I was having a blast playing, even when I'm not that great at it. It just sends me back to the early 2000s days of like MTV, Viva La Bam, jackass like energy that I really I yearn for again. It's the hijinks, and they added a few new maps to it. One's called Pinball, the other one is Water Park. That one was my favorite one out of all of them. All the new maps feel like they existed in Tony Hawk 3 and 4. They feel like they're just ripped. Like if you told me that, oh no, these games were in 3 or 4, I'd believe you. And I played them when I was a kid. It's awesome. All the little secrets and Easter eggs just feel at home here, and all the special moves that you're able to do, especially with like the secret characters that you unlock with like Michelangelo, all the spins that he's able to achieve. Oh my God. It was so much fun. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I think the biggest compliment I can give this is when the 1 and 2 remake came out from Vicarious Visions. It felt like they nailed it. It felt like mechanically it played just like how we remember when we were kids.
Yeah.
And having this being a completely different developer taking over 3 and 4, I personally was a little worried that they would feel the same at the same level. And I'm so happy to say like these could be the same teams.
Yeah.
It's such a faithful recreation. It feels exactly like the 1 and 2 remake, even though it's 2 completely separate companies and developers and whatnot. So I'm very excited to play this in a few short weeks. If you do have it pre-ordered, you can play the demo right now. Yep. And you can play as Doom Guy in the demo if you do have it pre-ordered. So
can we talk about that being a little odd though?
A little bit.
So here's the thing.
Can
Yeah.
I just see if I understand this correctly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
You have to have the game pre-ordered in order to get the demo. I thought the point of a demo was to get you to want to buy the game. But if you
I'm
pre-order
with
it,
you.
you've already dedicated yourself to buying the game. So
Yeah.
that feels like that's not a what?
I agree.
Bonus content, not a demo.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
if I told you that if you belong to the Discord in the morning, I'm going to drop about like, I don't know, I think they gave us like 20 demo codes. Would that make
Thanks.
you feel better?
Yeah. And Alex
It's just-
Smith also
it's just
says
not
the
choice.
demo is free on Game Pass as well.
Okay.
For those
So
things.
like, just put it out there then. What the? I don't.
Yeah.
It's
a little
just
weird.
an odd. It's an odd choice.
That's
No
good to point out.
shade to who made the decision, but it's an odd decision.
All right, Kyle
Well,
Stevenson.
Just really quickly about that
Yeah.
appointment. That was
Please.
the first real big boy appointment I've ever had, because they were like, "Oh, do you want your footage?" I go,
Yeah.
"What are you talking about? I don't have a capture device."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, that capture device, that's yours." I was like,
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's how when I went to that thing at 2K, I brought my own capture device because I thought I was going to need it. Because the one other time I went to an event like that, I did. They had memory cards for all of us that they just gifted to us afterwards, and I was like, "Shit,
That's
this
awesome."
is cool."
Fancy that. I too have a thumb drive. Okay, Kyle Stevenson. What's another game that actually no, enough of you, Kyle. I'm sorry. I
Kyle
see
had all
like-
the appointments. That's why he's got
I
a lot
know,
to
right?
share.
That's fine.
What about you, Light? You say you have what's this here? Escape Academy too?
Okay, so this was one that Kyle's going to talk on too because, well, I don't know if he will. This was his
absolutely-
appointment. I watched him play it. Him and Mike were playing
Go
this
for it.
co-op, and I was just chirping in their shoulder, probably being really annoying, like, "Ooh, try this. Ooh, try
No, it was very helpful.
that." I freaking just like Toem 2. I got home, I immediately bought the first game because
Nice.
this game looked so cute. It's an escape room, but you're escaping from a school, but it's like your college course to escape. So you're
Okay.
in a school, you're trying to get out. There's a bunch of puzzles. You can work together. There's like a looting system. None of the puzzles felt so hard that I was going to be annoyed and not be, because that's the most frustrating thing when a
Same.
puzzle's really hard. Like Myst. I tried to play Myst. I was too dumb for that game. Okay. I could not.
Same.
But playing it, especially alongside Kyle and Mike, bouncing ideas off each other, we were able to solve everything. And that was really nice. And I just thought it was really cute. The art style was cute. The character design was cute. The puzzles were fun. They were just hard enough. There were some like jokes and inside jokes from
Shout
like,
out to
other
the puns.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
it's just cute.
the dev who we had the appointment with was the one that wrote all the puns in the game, and every time we stumbled upon one, we were like, "Hey, that's pretty good." It's like, "Thank you so much. That means the world to me."
Yeah.
Lake Light said, the thing that I love about the first Escape Academy was it was an easily accessible way to do like this escape room puzzle thing, and everything from the first one is back in the second one. There is a hint system. There wasn't one when we played the game. Our hint system was the dev, but in the first game, the hint system paid such great dividends of giving you actually like valuable hints and whatnot. The first little part about this demo, we were stuck in a room as our orientation to the Escape Academy with like the very classic ceiling filled with spikes slowly lowering down. We have the 15-minute time limit, and Mike and I were like, "Holy shit, we gotta move!" And it took us a while to get into the groove, but once we did, it was great.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of that was it was like, look closely for the key. We needed a key to unlock something, and we're going around. We're like, I see the poster with the key on it. Like, where am I supposed to look? Where are we supposed to find this key? And then I hover over the key in the poster, and that was the key that was on the poster.
I had literally just finished saying, I was like, because there's a poster, and it's like a giant eye looking down with like light, and it looked like it was looking at a plant. So I would literally just finish saying, I was like, why don't we check the plant? It's looking at the plant. And Kyle hovers over the poster. Nope, it was literally the picture of the key that it was looking at on the poster. And we're like, oh wow.
Yeah, so like there's really fun things there, and it plays all together. And this one is more of like a, I don't want to say open world, but all the sections that we played in that demo were kind of all there. It was very witnessy, like where all the puzzles were right there in the world. You could tackle them in whatever order you want to. There are like side puzzles you can do. Like I got caught up trying to buy a soda for somebody, and it was like a Sudoku puzzle while Mike is doing the actual main puzzle, and I had all the money on me, so I had to leave my puzzle to buy the books for Mike so he can continue it. There's so much puzzle stuff here. So if you're like puzzles, this should definitely be on your radar.
Okay.
Very cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyle, listen, I've been waiting a long time. Okay. You're talking all these puzzles. I have enough of these puzzles. I want to talk about Dying Light, the Beast.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's
talk
fine.
about it.
It's fine.
Talk about it, Kyle. What do
Yeah.
you mean it's fine?
No, I'm kidding. Dying Light, the Beast. It was a fun time. I'm not the biggest Dying Light fan, and I even told the developer who I had the demo with that I played the first one not to completion, and I have not played the second one yet. But I'm familiar enough with like the mechanics and whatnot, and hopped in. This was very much the most E3 demo of old that I had experienced. So we were in this dark room. It was themed about the end times in Dying Light. And he was literally talking to me in my ear through the headset. Like it was the pre-recorded demos of like Ubisoft
Nice.
Days of Old. He was like, oh, I wonder what's over there. Oh no, watch out. So it was like that kind of thing while teaching me the ins and outs of it. If you like Dying Light, you're gonna love Dying Light the Beast. It is the same kind of like you got your drop kick ability. The parkour is there. I'm still not very good at the parkour. You play as the main character's name is Kyle, who's a character from the first game. This time though, that from the first game he was experimenting on, and now he has these beast-like powers. Think of it like Kratos's rage, where it builds up over time, and then I don't know what's going on with how choppy this video is on the video version. Anyways, you can like go into it and it's like one hit kill. You can go rage out and kill the zombies. I'm actually going to stop that because it's bugging me. And you've got your melee weapons, you've got guns, you can drive cars in this game, and members of the team are actually former devs on a pretty well-regarded driving game, which I'm blanking on the name of it currently. My favorite moment of this entire demo is I found a flamethrower and I was taking out these zombies. And one of the zombies, when he got lit on fire, literally went, ow. And the dev was like, I've never heard a zombie say that in my entire life. And so we spent a good 2 minutes just laughing because it was what zombie says, ow. Exactly.
Love that.
But yeah, August 22nd is there. Again, if you like Dying Light, you're gonna love this. It's beautiful. There's tons of opportunity to parkour through this world the way you want to. Yeah, it's real good.
Again, I can never play a zombie game where you have guns like that and not wish for another Left 4 Dead. I know they are nothing alike. I understand that, but still seeing that, I just want a Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah.
Rip.
All right, gang. I'm running out of steam here. We got 3 big games that we have to talk about. It's the thumbnail of this show. Okay, are you ready for it, gang? Ready for it?
Ready.
Because we went into the Capcom theater. All right, I saved enough juice for this one. The Capcom theater. We walked in, and let's start with Onimusha, the Way of the Sword first.
So, first off,
yes,
hands off.
Total hands off.
It's a theater presentation. We got 30 minutes of Onimusha and then 30 minutes of another game, which we'll talk about in a second. Spoiler alert, you see it in the thumbnail, but yeah, go for it.
Onimusha 2, Way of the Sword is
pretty much Capcom's answer to a Soulsborne. So if you like a good old action, swing your sword around type game that has shrines akin to bonfires, it is definitely Onimusha Way of the Sword. To me, the best way I could pitch this is it seems like a much more approachable take on Sekiro meets a Dark Souls type game, but the combat itself is a little bit more actiony. So think a bit more Sekiro, where it's about breaking the enemy's guards more than chipping away at their health. But they also have a mechanic where it's about playing aggressive as well. So you could be very defensive and think about the parries like Sekiro, or you could be very offensive and take high risks, like if you were in a Bloodborne type of scenario. There's a really awesome part where if the enemy's about to hit you, but you swing and your swords connect, you do a devastating hit, and it's pretty much like a one-shot kill to a basic enemy. There's this weird enemy that sucks up the souls that your arm, your gauntlet sucks up and gives you more power and health and all that jazz. And it'll shoot them at you like energy pellets that you could like parry and hit back into him, and he explodes, or he gets so bloated that you can run on over to him, grab him, and then throw him into a group of guys and they also explode. You have these really flashy boss fights that very much are Sekiro inspired. That is where it's like, okay, it's about being patient, it's about timing your parries, it's about really doing the sword dance with your opponent. It was very flashy, really goddamn cool. And once the producer is done rolling the footage or playing the game, put down his controller. This was my most anticipated game, whatever year this thing comes out. The camera angle is it next year, they say?
2026. Yep.
Jesus Christmas, 2026, man. Kyle Stevenson, you're a fan of these games like I
am, and I'm gonna simplify the pitch a little bit, because yes,
Please.
it is very soulsy, and I could see where you're coming from, but
yeah.
it's Samurai Resident Evil. That's legit
Right.
what it is. You got the Resident Evil puzzles in there, which we didn't see a whole lot there, but the older games are there. It's just so flashy. The enemies design is killer. Like you were saying, the little ones that like shoot the orbs out. I love those guys. They look so cool and creepy.
They look very huggable.
They do.
Please them.
They do. All the different finishers looked great. The boss fight looked awesome. The I forgot what the skill was called, but like you saw a door you couldn't get through, so you like unveiled like this thread that you had to go find, and
almost like a second sight, like you could see things in the world that other people couldn't see.
Yep. And then you kill that thing and it unlocks the door and you can go through it. It's everything I want from being an Onimusha fan myself, and I'm so stoked for it.
So
what about you? Did you enjoy it? Because we were sitting next to each other during this one.
Yeah, I went into it being like, that's not going to be a for me game, and I left being like, might be a for me game. That being said, I know the person who's actually playing it is like way good at it, and it's probably going to be much more difficult than he made it look. But watching someone who is good at it play it, I was like, I really think I want to play this game. And I loved, there was one boss that apparently you're going to fight multiple times. It's kind of like your main big baddie that you're going to fight throughout the game. I thought he was really cool because he kind of had like a different martial arts style. And I don't know if different enemy types will have different styles of martial arts. You know, having a martial arts background, I think that would be freaking awesome. But this one guy was like very much like drunken monkey kung fu style martial art. Like there's one point where he's standing on the ledge and he's just like, it looks like he's drunk and he's going to fall off. And then he turns it into this beautiful kung fu move. And his fighting style is much more like breezy, blowy. If you're familiar with Drunken Monkey Kung Fu, looked just like that. So I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it would be really cool if we had different enemy types showcasing different styles of martial arts. I would love that. Probably not going to be the case, but regardless, he was really cool. Yeah. And it was just beautiful. And the combat looked fun and probably going to kick my butt. And I'll probably buy it and try it and then not continue it. But considering I went in thinking that it wasn't going to be a game I'd be interested in, and I left being like, I really want to at least try this game. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's very cool to learn like that boss that you were talking about also has an Oni gauntlet, which like in the past games you were the only one with it. So it's interesting that there is another one, and this one to the main character who I'm blanking on the name is like sentient and talks to you, and there's like a relationship there, which I'm excited to learn more about. And yeah, even in that moment there was some humor in that interaction there, which was a nice little break between the dreary monster filled world. The Genma, I think they called them.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been a minute since I played an Onimusha game, but yeah, I'm sold. I'm in.
Yeah, the animations of this game are just incredible. It's
Captain Logan also said makes a good point. He was like the Gary to Ash from Pokemon, like the rival.
Yeah.
And it's
Goddamn.
cool because his gauntlet, the way he used his gauntlet was like turning him evil and bringing him to the dark side. Whereas how we were using our gauntlet, wasn't having that impact on us yet. Obviously, I don't know where the story is going to go, but I thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
Next game on the list here, gang. It's the game everybody's been talking about. Resident Evil Requiem, or Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
Can I make a note before we get into it?
Please.
Something I really appreciate about this section of the theater presentation.
Go for it.
Onimusha, the Capcom brand ambassador there, talked to us throughout the entire presentation, explaining what was happening on screen. The one that talked about Resident Evil was like, this is Resident Evil 9. Boom. And then just silence in the dark room and just let it happen.
Be terrified.
Exactly. I just love that was how this was presented to us. So continue.
It's literally 20 minutes of right off the cuff. You are being hunted by creepy giant grandma Leatherface. You wake up in first person. You got this key that opens this door. You don't have a gun on you. You're trying to find something, anything to get out of this house that you're in. And you are met with immediately this creepy grandma that is out to kill you. And you're trying to find a fuse to open a gate to get you the hell out of here. The only thing that you have on you that you find is a goddamn
lighter,
Zippo lighter that goes off it turns off halfway through. You're like, oh shit, you gotta like turn it back on.
The whole theater groaned when we got the lighter. We were all like, no.
There's also this weird horse statue that kept highlighting in the hallway. Like, what's going on with that thing?
And I think for horror fans, what you're gonna like here is it seemed very much PT inspired. Like there was like you're walking down this hallway and you see this weird horse statue and you're like, is it gonna come out and hit me? Like, what is this all about? They played with shadows really well, the sense of dread and anxiety of like something is around the corner, just you wait. Playing with that jump scare. Excellent work.
My favorite thing, just really quickly about this, is you play as Grace Ashcroft, is the main character, who works at the FBI, but is not like an FBI agent who's trained in weapons. So it's not a Leon experience. It's not an Ethan Winters like in Village. This seems to be more of like a quote unquote grounded Resident Evil, where you are going to be doing a lot of sneaking. Combat might not be your first way to handle what's coming after you. My favorite thing about this, and Light and I, the entire time this was happening, was like she would go into a room and be too dark, and then she went away. She was like, nope, not going in there. And then find another one. It's like, nope, not going in there. And like the sound design was great. You could hear the fear in Grace as she's walking around, and you just hear these footsteps going all over the place. It just felt so, you could feel the sense of dread, and just like that other game, like that you could feel the tension rising. So when we do get that moment of this older zombie dropping and then this giant weird creature, which I assume is like the Mr. X or nemesis of this game, who's constantly going to be coming after you, kind of eat into it and then bite Grace, and then you're off to the races. You have to find a safe room. You gotta be quiet and like. Whew.
This reminded me a lot of Biohazard in terms of like needing to sneak around. Like the beginning stages of Biohazard before you like have any weapons and you're like just creeping through the house. And I personally, those are not my favorite. I don't like when there's something constantly chasing me, but I was scared and I'm still going to be really excited to play this. I was wondering also if your noise had more to play in this, because her footfalls were very noticeable and her breathing was very noticeable. So like there was a couple times that, and I will say this was like something that I hope they tweak a little before it comes out.
Yeah.
Where she would just be turning to look and you'd hear of her feet.
Yep.
And I kept going to Kyle. I was like, who's in the room? Because I thought it was somebody else walking around, but really it was just like her turning. So imagine it was just like your whole body turning to look instead of just your head. So that like threw me a little bit. But because of that, like attention to the footfalls, I was wondering if that has more of an like purpose.
Yeah.
Same thing with the breathing. Like if you're breathing too loudly, if things will hear you.
Yeah.
But the location, obviously we only saw a small part, but the location seemed really cool. And obviously that same old style where you find something and you're missing a component and then you need to find something else in order to get that thing. Like that was there, which I really love. I jump scared so hard I broke my chair. Poor Kyle's arm. I was just constantly living in his shoulder.
Yeah.
But it was funny because watching it with a bunch of people, there were some things that wouldn't have scared me, but someone else got jump scared and that jump scared me. So it was a great time. I'm really excited.
Yeah, dude, the crowd popped like legitimately. Capcom went so hard that at the end of that trailer, there was a standing ovation when it showed that you could switch it from first person to classic third person.
Yeah. People got super excited in ours as well, as was I, because listen, 7 and 8 were great games. Yep. I fucking hated Ethan Winters. I did not like him, and that was all first person. So the ability and to play it the way you want to, and there was nothing about I enjoyed the first person nature of the last 2 games, but I also think like RE4, Leon, RE2, RE3, the traditional third person is awesome and just classic. That you can play however you want is great, and I hope that in like these big story scenes, which I think it does because it starts with like a story scene of Grace strapped to a gurney and trying to get out, that we actually see more of her instead of just Ethan being goofy and giving terrible line delivery in the last 2.
Do we know her character? Because I only played 2 and 3 remake. So who is she in the scope of the story? Like,
I'm not like super well versed in the Resident Evil lore.
We need Brittany Brombacher on the show.
Yeah, she is the daughter of, I believe it's Alyssa Ashcroft, who is a reporter in Resident Evil Outbreak, which is another game.
Okay.
So she is tied to an important character from another game.
Okay.
At first I thought it was the daughter of Ethan, the baby that got stolen.
Rose.
You know how there was like a flash forward and she was like at school or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No. She is the Ashcroft name is a name in Resident Evil lore.
Okay, good to know.
Gang, here it is. Ready for this one?
And then Mr. Joe over here actually got to play this game. We didn't get that option.
Gang, I played Pragmata, and I was very lucky. I walked in line and literally they're like, hey, I heard there's maybe a Pragmata thing. And they're like, oh, it's full. I was like, all right, understandable. And the guy right next to me, he's like, we got 4 spots, actually. I was like, well, they're just like, let's wait a minute. I was like, I know that. And I'm like, I'm waiting nervously for a minute because I'm hearing that this is some people's game of show. I'm like, okay, fine. Let me go in, open mind. I'm excited. I don't know how to explain this game. Truly, it's unlike any other shooter I've ever played before in the best way. So, Pragmata, you play as Astronaut Man and little girl that has a robot arm.
Is that their official name?
Yes. And so Pragmata, you play as these two characters, and the enemies in front of you are indestructible. The only way to hurt them is to hack into them. So literally you're aiming your gun at them and you're hitting triangle, and that's where the little girl points her little robot arm and starts the hacking sequence. From there, time is slowed down, and all of a sudden it becomes a puzzle game. Imagine, remember when you're sitting down in your Windows 98 PC, the worm game where you're chasing the apple, and every time you eat the apple, your worm grows until you
Snake.
eat your tail? Snake.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. It's a game of Snake where it's from point A to point B, and you have these power nodes that you have to hit along the way. And there's certain power nodes that when you hit them, you in a certain order, you do more damage to the enemy in front of you. While at the same exact time, while trying to figure out this code, and you're going through this little mini puzzle with your face buttons, your triangle, circle, square. So you're navigating it with your face buttons as you're also dodging shots with your R1 button. So you're dodging shots, you're dodging hits while you're trying to scan each of one of these individual enemies to then suddenly hack them, stun them, kill them. You're picking up weapons as you go. You do not pick up like your shotgun that has 100 shots. Your shotgun has 5 shots. And then you drop it on the floor. You have a pistol that has unlimited ammo, but it is slow. And it is very much reloads over time. The game is incredible. It's, again, unlike anything I've ever played. I'm just baffled about how this works, because on paper, it really shouldn't. But when you're actually playing the game and you're trying to hack and you're trying to dodge and you're trying to get past all these enemies at once, you're immediately walking into every battlefield going, okay, what's the most efficient way to get through this fight? Who do I have to hit first? Who can I run away from? What's the best way to engage each one of these combat scenarios? And man, does it just play off so well. They had me from the moment I started playing. I beat it 6 minutes early, and I was like, this is amazing. This is so experimental and weird, and it shouldn't work, but it does. And the guy turned around, he's like, you got 6 more minutes, because I got to the boss fight and it just cuts off. And I'm like, he's like, you want to play it again? I was like, no, I rather, I literally, I turned to him, I'm like, I'd rather discuss about this game to you. This is incredible. This is one of my favorite games I've played here. And I handed him my card. He's like, oh, thank you very much. And he's like, I'm the producer. And I was like, well, sir, you send your love to this team because they are doing God's work. It genuinely amazing. Go look at video of this game, because I did not do it any justice. It's legitimately phenomenal on a gameplay level. No notes. Capcom, when you're weird, you do amazing things. God bless.
I'm so happy it's finally real.
Yeah,
it's a thing. So
and
that's
it's
awesome.
Totally
really,
different
really
than
good.
what I was expecting from the trailers too. So that makes me much more intrigued, because from the trailers I was like, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be a me game. I need to wait and see what the combat is like. And then hearing you explain it, I'm like, you know what? I think this could be something.
Yeah, it's unlike anything else, man. It is wild. That said, we still have some questions to go through. I have some games that I don't know if they're under embargo, so we'll save them for next week if you guys don't mind.
Of course.
Because this is we're about to hit the 3-hour mark. So Kyle, do you mind answering this question from Dewane Raksha?
Is that in the Sony Pony Express?
It's under game highlights.
Oh, yes,
right
of
here
course.
for you.
And then I will also next week is a big release week, so we got to touch on those too.
Ooh, okay, go for it.
But Dewani Raksha writes in, keen to hear if any of you saw or played a smaller game that might turn into a giant like Balatro or Vampire Survivors. For me, it's a Ball Pit, a roguelike brick breaker that I saw in the Devolver Digital Showcase. The demo on Steam has already eaten away way too many hours. Also, I miss being in the chat live when you do the show. I have some key meetings at work that are scheduled during the show, so I've been missing a ton of them live.
Ooh.
Keep up the great work. Appreciate you, Dwani. I'm sorry.
How
Those
dare
meetings.
you? How dare you have other things in your life?
Put
We will
us.
never forgive
Listen,
you.
Dwani, right now. Put us on the main screen right now.
Yeah.
Let us talk to your people.
Come on.
Dwani needs to listen to
Spreadsheets.
us. Okay.
Stop scheduling meetings during our show.
What? How do you not know who we are?
Do
Come
you
on.
not know who we are?
Come on.
I was walking 2 hours ago. Kidding me? That really tuckered me out. I'm telling you.
I'm very excited to play Ball Pit.
Yeah.
It looks fun. It's tough for me to say if any of the games we played will be a mega indie hit like that.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat. But once again, indie's just carrying that show in terms of what we got to play.
100%.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, Lego Party's really fun.
Dude, right? Like, guys, I'm telling you, it's so like that's such a fun stream game. Get the group together, get the audience in on it. Like it's ton of fun. Fluke23 writes, "Hey trio, hope you're all doing well and had a great time at SGF. There were some great announcements and games shown that landed pretty high in my opinion. But my question is, what is your biggest highlight of the event, including games and interactions? What made you not be able to show those hands? As always, much love and appreciate you all that you make." Hands. I don't. What was that horny game that you played there, Light? The horny
Grave
horror
Seasons?
game. Yeah, Grave Seasons. Come on. Hands. Jesus Christ. Those biceps. I think the biggest highlight for me definitely was between Pragmata and Lumines. I can't choose which one I loved more. What about you, Light? Your biggest highlight?
My biggest highlight of the event was my dinner that I can't talk about.
That's fair enough. You
Everybody,
can say it was just.
this is
just
true
me.
love. I was just brought a cookie.
Oh, yay.
I got to hang out with some pretty cool people and have really good conversations, and that was definitely my highlight. And showed that the internet is not the gaming industry.
Very much so.
The game industry is not as downtrodden as Twitter would make you think.
Yeah.
And I think
I
just
like that.
that experience overall was kind of like the coolest one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Stevenson, what say you?
I said before it's the people were the highlight, but in terms of games, I mean, I'm a drink box sicko, so Blighted is an easy one.
Go.
Yeah,
Let's go. Fair enough. All right, Kyle. Are you guys holding on to something? Anything at all?
I'm holding on to this Pac-Man pin we got.
I got a water bottle.
Nice.
Prepare the drop. Here are the latest deals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront.
So once again, we're going to talk about games that are coming out next week, but there is
Sure.
one I wanted to highlight because I didn't realize it comes out this Friday, and I think it's a game that you're super excited about. Like The Altars comes out on Friday.
Ooh.
So
I'm glad you reminded me though, because I totally lost track of that.
Yes, absolutely. So that comes out on June 13th for PS5. On June 16th, the Gex trilogy is finally out. So go replay
Praise be.
the Gex games in all their glory, for better or for worse. On June 17th, this might be one that might be a Balatro Vampire Survivors game. Date Everything comes out on PS5.
I am intrigued by that one.
Yeah. You want to date a toaster? Go for it.
But the toaster has like famous voice actors. So
yes.
Let me tell you
absolutely.
something. I ain't dating that toaster. You know what I'm saying? Turn that sucker to bread mode.
If it fits, you.
Whoa.
Fits.
I mean,
if it fits, you acquit? Is that...
Don't like brag. It fits pretty fine.
Also on June 17th, also will be part of the PS Plus subscription. FBC Firebreak comes out
Yes.
on PlayStation 5. Also, real nitpick. I tried to get a demo for that game at SGF. That station was always empty, and they said they were
Yes.
full all weekend
Right.
long. Like, so what's
I was
going
like,
on?
did people never show up to their appointments? But like you say, you're full, and there's one TV in use out of 4.
Yeah, what's going on? I would have
Right.
loved
Yeah.
to play. Anyway,
Come on.
Lost in Random: The Eternal Die comes to PS5 on June 17th.
Hearing good things.
Maximum Football also June 17th. Tron
Football.
Catalyst also on June 17th. Rematch, the next game from the Seafood devs, the soccer game, comes out on June 19th for PS5. And finally, Star Overdrive comes to PS5 on June 19th.
Ooh wee. Those are it. Those are all the games coming out this week. And listen, the reason why 3 hours is the hard out is because this podcast will literally, I don't know how to edit it down long enough for it to actually fit into the RSS feed. So that said, Sony Pony Express, we're bringing that to the after show.
Yeah.
We're bringing it to the after show because gosh dang, this episode is too mighty for just one show to handle. So that said, yeah. Anything y'all like to spotlight before we get on out of here of this summer showcase extravaganza? Light, I ask you.
You can follow me on Lightweight Gaming at socials and on YouTube for all of your gaming play content and unboxings and just gaming chaos. Or you can follow Lightweight Reacting for reaction chaos and tears. And appreciate all of you again who went over to Lightweight Reacting and subscribed over there because I hit my 100K last week. I got my channel verified and my plaque is coming in on Friday. So thank you all so much for your support over there.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Kyle Stevenson, what say you, sir?
I'd like to highlight these two people here on the show with me. Can't do it without you. I love you both very, very much and proud of us all. Follow me, Mr. K-Step, everywhere. 61 Indie for all the indie game coverage. News on the next showcase already coming very soon.
Oh.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, yeehaw is all right. Yeah, be kind to one another, especially not to get down at the end of it, but like being in LA with everything going on, fuck ICE, fuck the administration. It was really, really tough this weekend doing something fun and then literal blocks away, like serious shit was going down. Definitely it was a bit of an eye-opener. So yeah, just be kind to one another, tell everyone you love them, and just keep being awesome.
Yeah, seriously. As a Spanish guy, I definitely felt it. I looked up and literally I got out out of the Capcom showcase. I was like, holy shit, we saw so many awesome things. And then I looked up to a cloud of smoke just 5 miles out. And that was it was like shit, right? Real world still happens no matter what. So yeah, everybody, love y'all. Keep safe out there, please. If you like what you listen to here, if you like this escape, please consider rating us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please consider like, share, subscribe. And hey, listen, if you rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and you share it out at us over on Twitter or Blue Sky or on our Discord server where we have a little section for reviews, you get entered to win a special Death Stranding copy on the house. So there you go. Make sure you hit like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify and get yourself a chance to win a copy of Death Stranding. That's it. With all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing.
How do they used to do hearts now?
Oh, so what the hell is it?
They do it like this now.
I just do this. It's not great, but that's all I can
This is
handle.
so ugly compared to this. Like, look how beautiful of a heart this is, and then look at this monstrosity.
I feel like I just did a gang sign.
What? How? Wait, hold on.
Middle
Joe,
fingers
end the show
down.
because I'll be here all day.
All right. Bye, everybody.